Welcome to 5MI Truth or Myth, where you decide if someone is telling you a sexual truth or a sexual myth. Today's truth or myth is about education and promiscuity. Let's begin by defining education. Education is giving or receiving information for the purpose of it being learned. Interestingly, of the near infinite number of things we'll learn over our lifetimes, we'll learn all of these things by only 3 methods. We'll learn by thinking, that is, using our own logic, intuition, or gut. We'll learn by authority, that is through listening to or following some expert. Or we'll learn empirically, that is through making observations and collecting data. For example, how did you learn what a yellow light means at an intersection? By thinking, you may have learned a yellow light means stop, slow down, or speed up. By authority, you may have learned a yellow light means to proceed with caution, only when the intersection is safe to do so. And empirically, you may have learned a yellow light's meaning depends on whether there is a police car behind you, or pedestrians in the intersection, or if it's raining, or you're in a hurry, or 1,000 other factors. As you can see, each method of learning may result in a different answer. And learning does not require using all 3 methods. Instead, learning requires only one method to be used. However, if learning is going to be authentic, that is, learning the truth about something, then learning requires using all 3 methods. Formal education, that is, school, is based upon using all 3 of these methods of learning. For example, students may learn by thinking, through writing, introspecting, and teaching. They may learn by authority through reading, viewing, and listening. And they may learn empirically through questioning, predicting, and researching. Formal sex education, like formal education in general, is based upon using all 3 methods of learning. However, formal sex education, unlike formal education in general, is tainted by moralistic ideology. This tainting has resulted in 2 misleadingly titled types of sex education: abstinence-based sex education and comprehensive-based sex education. We can distinguish these 2 types of sex education by looking at how they use the 3 methods of learning. For thinking, abstinence-based sex education suppresses students' thinking about sex, whereas comprehensive-based sex education facilitates students introspecting about sex. For authority, abstinence-based sex education presents students with ideologues and conjecture, whereas comprehensive-based sex education presents students with scientists and data. For empirical, abstinence-based sex education suppresses students' questions, whereas comprehensive-based sex education encourages students to study. With these definitions of education in mind, let's see if you can determine if this week's special guest is sharing a sexual truth or a sexual myth.
Hello, my name is Straight-Laced, and I'm here to share with you the following fact. Generally speaking, the more sexually knowledgeable people are, the less sexually promiscuous they will be.
Studies have consistently found the more educated you are about sex, the less sexually promiscuous you will be. For example, when Laura Lindberg and Isaac Madow-Zimet from the Guttmacher Institute examined the effect sex education has on 4,691 15 to 24-year-olds' sexual behaviors, they found sex education in general, when compared to no sex education at all, significantly delays the onset of first sexual experience by almost 2 years. And it decreases the chances of a person having 6 or more partners by 59%. Further, and maybe most importantly, Drs. Lindbergh and Maddow-Zimet found comprehensive-based sex education decreases the chances of a person having unwanted sex by 1/3 when compared to abstinence-based sex education, and by 3 times when compared to having no sex education at all. The largest review of the research literature comparing comprehensive and abstinence-based sex education was conducted by Dr. Helen Chin and her colleagues at the Community Preventative Services Task Force. Dr. Chin examined 6,579 research articles that reported the effects of comprehensive and abstinence-based sex education, and found adolescents who completed comprehensive-based sex education programs had less frequent sexual activity, a smaller number of sex partners, less unprotected sex, a higher probability of using condoms and hormonal contraception, and were less likely of being pregnant or having a sexually transmitted infection. Chin found these positive changes in sexual attitudes, knowledge, and behaviors for only comprehensive-based sex education programs and not for abstinence-based sex education programs. Dr. Chin's findings may be explained by psychological reactance. Psychological reactance occurs when we're ordered, without proper explanation, not to do something. And because of the lack of explanation, we go do that something. Abstinence-based sex education orders its students not to have sex and not to think about or question these orders. It's no wonder that abstinence-based sex education is often associated with sexually promiscuous behavior, whereas comprehensive-based sex education, which discusses with its students healthy sexual behaviors and reinforces thinking and questioning, is often associated with sexually discerning behavior. So now you know, sexual knowledge empowers sexual discernment, where sexual ignorance reinforces indiscriminate sexual behaviors. Go share this newfound sexual knowledge about empowerment and be a part of the fight against sexual ignorance.